But can I please ask Mr. Nidada, could you please give us the opening prayer?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day in the mighty name of Jesus. We commit this annual general meeting of Custodian Investment plc into holy hands. We ask, O Lord, that your presence shall permeate all the deliberations and activities this morning. And at the end of this day, all the glory and honor shall be unto your name. For in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Dada. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the 31st Annual General Meeting of our company for the transaction of the business listed in the Notice of Meeting, which accompanied the annual reports and accounts sent to all shareholders. Before passing to the more formal matters on the agenda, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce those on the table here with me and those that are joining us virtually. To my far left is Dr. Tunde Shirade. Next to him is Mrs. Mimi Ade Odiachi. On my right is Mr. Wale Oshi, the Group Managing Director. To his right is Mr. Folashokwe Ayesimoju. And to his right is Mr. Adeni Falade. Joining us online are our directors, Mr. Ravi Sharma, Mr. Olakunle Adeoju, Mrs. Binta Max Binije, and to my left is Mr. Adeyinka Jafojo, representing the Company Secretary, Custodian Trustees Limited, and I am Dr. Omobola Johnson. Representing Maritime Registrars and Probate Services Limited are the registrars, Mr. Victor Agbola. Representing the Nigerian Exchange Limited is Mr. Bonaventure Ombuji. Oh, he's on his way. Representing the Securities and Exchange Commission is Mr. Shehu Maikaji, who's also on his way. He's online. Okay, they're online. And representing the external auditors, Deloitte & Touche, is Mrs. Ayonike Salako and Mr. Olaolu Ayodele. Representing the representatives of the Corporate Affairs Commission are also attending virtually. Representing the Statutory Audit Committee is the chairman of the committee, Mr. Olani Dada, Group Captain Bola Shotubo, Chief Mrs. Margaret Giwa, and Mr. Ravi Sharma. In line with the Business Facilitation Act 2023 and the provisions of the Company Articles of Association, which allows public companies to hold their meetings virtually, this AGM is being held virtually. The virtual link is available on the company's website and the notice of meeting. Please indicate by show of hands if you want to speak. I would like to mention that the Register of Directors attendance at board meetings and the Register of Directors shareholdings are available for inspection in compliance with the Companies and Allied Matters Act. I now call on the Company Secretary to read the notice of meeting and to ascertain if we have a quorum.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Notice is hereby given that it at the first annual general meeting of Custodian Investment plc would hold virtually on May 8, 2026 at 10 a.m. to transact the following business. Ordinary business. 1, to lay before members the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2025, and the report of the directors, auditors report, and the audit committee report thereon. 2, to declare a dividend. 3, to re-elect the following directors retiring by rotation: Mrs. Mimi Ade Odiachi, Mr. Olakunle Adeojo, and Mrs. Binta Max Binije. 4, to approve the appointment of Dr. Shudade as an independent non-executive director and Mr. Folashokwe Ayeshimoju as a non-executive director. 5, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors for the 2026 financial year. To elect members of the Statutory Audit Committee in accordance with Section 404, subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act. To disclose the remuneration of managers in the employment of the company. special business. 6, to fix the remuneration of non-executive directors. The notes are noted thereon by order of the board. Adeyinka Jafujo, representative of Custodian Trustees, the company secretary. Madam Chairman, I confirm that the meeting has quorum.
Thank you, Yinka. Copies of the financial statements of the company as at December 31st, 2025, together with the director's report and audit committee report, were circulated to all shareholders. With your permission, I would like to take them as read to save time for other matters on the agenda. Thank you. In accordance with Section 404, subsection 1 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, I now call upon the representative of the external auditors to read the auditor's report.
Good morning again, directors. Good morning, Madam Chair, and good morning, distinguished shareholders. With your permission, Madam Chair and directors, I would like to read the summarized version of our audit report, which is our opinion, basis of opinion, and report on other legal and regulatory matters. To the shareholders of Custodian Investment Plc, report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statements of Custodian Investment Plc and its subsidiaries, the group and company, set out on pages 104 to 397, which comprise the consolidated and separate statement of financial position as at year ended 31st of December 2025. The consolidated and separate statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the consolidated and separate statement of changes in equity, and the consolidated and separate statement of cash flow for the year then ended. The notes to the consolidated and separate financial statement, including a material accounting policy information. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statement give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of Custodian Investment Plc as at 31st of December 2025, and its consolidated and separate financial performance and consolidated and separate cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with IFRS accounting standard as issued by International Accounting Standard Boards, the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matter Act 2020, the Insurance Act 2025, circulars and guidelines issued by the National Insurance Commission (NICOM), Bank and Other Financial Institution Act BOFIA 2020, and circulars issued by Central Bank of Nigeria, Pension Reform Act, Investment and Security Act 2025, and Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Amended Act 2023. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing, ISAs. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the group and company in accordance with the requirements of the International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants, the ISBA International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independence Standards, the ISBA Code, as applicable to audit of financial statements of public interest entities, other independent requirements applicable to performing audit of financial statements of public interest entities in Nigeria. We have also fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the ISBA Code and other ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the consolidated and separate financial statement in Nigeria. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. On page 101, we have the report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the 5th schedule of Companies and Allied Matter Act, we expressly state that 1. We have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2. The group has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from our examination of those books. 3, the group and company's financial position and its statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns. Contraventions. The group contravened certain sections of Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act amended 2023, National Insurance Commission Act 2025, and Nigerian Exchange Group rules during the year. Details of the contravention and the related penalties are disclosed in Note 46, 63, and 52 of the Consolidated and Separate Financial Statement. Signed on behalf of Deloitte and Touche. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mrs. Salako. I now call on the chairman of the Audit Committee, Mr. Olani Dada, to read the committee's report.
Thank you. Good morning once again. Board of Directors, distinguished shareholders and members present. A report of the Statutory Audit Committee for the year ended December 31st, 2025. In accordance with the provision of Section 404, subsection 4 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the members of the Audit Committee of Custodian Investment PLC hereby report as follows. We have exercised our statutory functions under Section 404, subsection 4 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and acknowledge the cooperation of management and staff in the conduct of these responsibilities. We are of the opinion that the accounting and reporting policies of the group are in accordance with legal requirements and agree ethical practice, and that the scope and planning of both external and internal audit for the year ended December 31st, 2025 were satisfactory and reinforced the group's internal control systems. We have deliberated with the external auditors who have confirmed that necessary cooperation was received from management in the course of their statutory audit, and we are satisfied with management's response to the external auditor's recommendations on accounting and internal control matters, and with the effectiveness of the group's system of accounting and internal controls. Signed by the Chairman Audit Committee, and members of the Statutory Audit Committee during the year under review are Mr. Richard Asabia, who retired from the committee on July 2025, Mr. Rafiq Sharma, Group Captain Bola Shotipo retired, and Chief Mrs. Margaret Giwa. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dada. In exercise of the powers conferred on me by virtue of Section 248 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, I hereby call a poll on resolutions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8, while resolution 6 will be taken by show of hands. I confirm that the shareholders have sent their proxy forms indicating how their votes would cast. Please note that resolutions 1 and 7 do not require voting. I call on the representative of the registrar to explain the voting process.
Thank you, Madam. I confirm to the House that prior to now, we received a total of 365 proxies, representing about 53% of the total shareholders of the company. However, for shareholders online, I will display the resolution one after the other, and will give 5 seconds for shareholders to cast their votes in favor or against each resolution. After the 5 seconds, we will announce the results as displayed on the screen for all to see. Thank you.
Why just 5 seconds? Is that how your system is programmed? I'm just asking, because normally it's at least 30 seconds or a minute.
Yes. So we want to manage time because of the network. So, and we also reckon that most of the shareholders during the pre-registration had already done their votings online.
All right. Thank you. So we continue with item 1 on the agenda, which is to lay the report of the directors and the audited financial statements together with the auditor's report for the year ended December 31st, 2025. I therefore, in accordance with the provision of Section 404, subsection 4 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, lay before the members the financial statements as required under Section 388, subsection 1 of the same Act for the year ended December 31st, 2025. I will be pleased to take questions which you may have on the report and financial statements, and management will respond. We have also received some written questions from shareholders, which management will also respond to. So if there are any questions, either received prior or questions for now.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, shareholders. We've had some questions earlier forwarded to us. I'll just speak on some of them and give answers to them. So we have questions from Bisi Bakari, who is the National Coordinator of the Pragmatic Shareholders Association. She asked a question regarding on page 104, note 10. I'll just pick some of the questions from the different shareholders because of time. She asked about trade receivables and other receivables and payments. Considering NICOM policy of no premium, no cover, I observed that trade receivables and other receivables increased to 29.85 billion from 20.02 billion in 2024. Well, the increase is primarily attributable to the inclusion of operations generally, which was newly introduced. The investment platform, that's the merchant banking license that we got. So the operations of the merchant bank in the current year, which did not exist in the prior year. Details of the 29.85 billion balance are provided in the notes to the accounts on page 212, which indicates that premium-related receivables actually were just 645 million naira, which definitely within a month, within the stipulated period for the regulator, the National Insurance Commission, would definitely have been paid, would have been received from the brokers because they have a 30-day credit policy. So this only represents 2% of the total amount that we are talking about. So in terms of compliance, I think we are very much compliant with the no premium, no cover. We have a question from Barrister Adetutu Shiobola, and she spoke to the issue of the dividend on page 37. She said, I observed that the board has recommended a final dividend of 2.50 naira per share in the year under review, in addition to the 25 kobo per share earlier as interim dividends, making a total dividend of 2.75 naira per share compared to 1.25 naira per share paid the previous year. The dividend recommended by the board is too small when our earnings per share is 11 naira 19 kobo. This is understandable as a shareholder who's looking for more, but I must say that we will continue to put in our efforts to ensure that we're able to pay more dividend. That's what I can say. I understand the ratios she's trying to put in place here. When you talk about 2 naira 75 kobo to 11 naira 19 kobo in terms of the earnings. But this is noted, and we will ensure that we work on that. Samiat Adebanke Odunuga of Livingstone Shareholders Association of Nigeria. I don't know, we have mainly women now all coming in. It's all the ones I'm seeing here are women, well, which is good. I mean, bringing in more activity. She spoke to unclaimed dividend. I think she's speaking more to us at the registrars. I want our registrars to update their records in order to reduce this unclaimed dividend. Then she spoke to penalty. She said, I observed our company paid penalty for a contravention in the year under review. Let's try to avoid this type of penalty going forward because it's not good for the image of the business. Well, I believe that the aspect of the penalty was it's unfortunate because the entity that got the penalty, or that had to pay the penalty, actually put in a defense, to try to ensure that that penalty was reversed. It wasn't acceptable, but because it involved a third party, the amount was actually reimbursed to them, and that's in the bank, because the penalty arose as a result of a third-party bank infraction, not them. But the regulator insisted that they had to pay it, but they got reimbursed. So I think from that perspective, financially, we're okay, because the money was actually reimbursed. But in terms of the optics, we continue to work on ensuring that penalties are not tolerated across the group from all our entities. She also said, I observe an astronomical increase in our receivables, and I think this is the same with the receivables that I spoke to earlier on. She asked, what level are we with the asset management license? Okay, I think the shareholders would like to know that we've gotten the license, so the asset management company has commenced operations. So congratulations to all of you. There is also okay, there's a question from the Independent Shareholders Association. I think the leader is Mr. Moses Ibrudi. And he talked about liquidity, It spoke to liquidity of the company on page 207, note 7, amongst other questions, but because of time, I'm picking questions from the different shareholders. He said an increase of 295% from 43.98 billion in 2024 to 174.18 billion in 2025 for the group, while the subsidiary decreased by 29% from 3.72 billion in 2024 to 2.63 billion in 2025. He said this is commendable, but we urge the board and management to map out strategies that will continue to keep the group company and subsidiaries above the line with the expected ratios. Well, management appreciates the commendation and acknowledges the board's guidance, in this regard. We are actively developing and implementing strategies to sustain performance and ensure that both the group and its subsidiaries remain above the expected benchmarks. Madam Chairman, I think these are the different shareholders that sent in questions. Thank you.
Thank you, GMD. I understand we have a few questions from our shareholders that are joining us virtually. Mr. Olatunji Bamidele, if you could please unmute and ask your question.
Chairman, my name is Tunji Bamidele.
Please go ahead, Mr. Bamidele. Please go ahead. Mr. Bamidele, unfortunately, we can't hear you very well. Yes, Mr. Bamidele, if you can hear us, can you type your question in the chat box?
additional.
Mr. Bamidele, we didn't hear your question, but if you don't mind, can you type it in the chat box, please? Okay, it appears we may have lost him.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, please.
Hello, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, we can
Good
hear
morning, ma.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is
Are you hearing me
Mrs.
now?
B.C. Bakari.
Are you hearing my? Yes.
Mrs. Bakare, please go ahead.
Are you hearing me, my chairman?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
thank you, madam. Yeah.
Mrs. Bakare, Mrs.
Actually,
Bakare. Mrs.
I
Bakare.
want.
Can you hold on 1 second, please?
Management
Mr. Bamidele we can now hear him. Please give us 1 minute. You can come on after Mr. Bamidele. Mr. Bamidele, please go ahead.
My chairman, Tunji Bamidele is my name. As I said earlier, I appreciate the management and the board for the job well done. And to the dividend given to us, we know because of the future, that's why you give all this a little one. And we expect bomber dividend in future. My chairman, we need to look at a lot of things in this industry. One, the issue of the cyber security or cyber attack that is rampant to the global business. What are you prepared towards it? What are you doing towards it? And secondly, we are thinking about all our subsidiaries. What are you doing?
Thank you, Mr.
What are you doing to make sure future? We are ready to give you honest support. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Bamidele. Mrs. Bakare.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really appreciate you, madam, for recognizing me. Once again, my name is Mrs. B.C. Bakari. I'm the National Coordinator of Pragmatic Shareholders Association. I would like to begin my comments with a note of appreciation to the entire board and management, especially board, for giving us dividend of 2 naira 50 kobo. For me, I final dividend and total dividend of 2 naira 75 kobo. For me, as an investor, we should give opportunity for another time not to pay all our earnings and will not have anything to work with. So for me, I really appreciate board for the 2 naira 75 kobo total dividend, and I hope that the trend will continue in many years to come. Having said that, because I've already sent my comments, I just want to talk on there is an issue I raised here, and I can see that MD did not talk about it. That is why I just want to talk about it. Because I observed that many insurance companies, they now rely heavily on investment income. So I want to ask from the board and management that what steps are being taken to improve our core underwriting profitability and reduce excessive dependence on investment income for earnings growth. That is only my question. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me, ma'am.
Thank you, Mrs. Bakare. There's one more question online before the GMD responds, and that is Mr. Moses Ibrude. Mr. Ibrude, can you please unmute and ask your question? Mr. Ibrude. Okay, maybe he's having challenges. So maybe as we wait for him, GMD, you can respond to the 2 questions, I think, from Mrs. Bamidele and one from Mrs. Bakare.
Okay, thank you very much. The response to Mr. Tunji Bamidele pertaining to cybersecurity, I think certainly we are very conscious of this. We are very, very aware about the implication, especially with the development of various IT products. The AI is positive and negative, but everything is being put in place. We have a robust security structure across the group, and we continue to improve on it because we understand that attackers continuously improve on their own strategies. So it's something we continue to improve on. With regards to the subsidiaries, we are fully on top of governance, on top of structures, systems, and processes across the group. So there is no fear, with regards to managing the subsidiaries and ensuring that they're all performing. As a matter of fact, the vision is to have each subsidiary being a top-tier company in its sector. So we have our eyes on that. Mrs. Bakare spoke to appreciation of the dividend. Thank you very much that you understand that we cannot invest all our earnings. We cannot pay out all our earnings. So that is very much appreciated. Now, with regards to insurance companies making money from investment income, we make money from underwriting income, in custodian. We have always made decent profits from underwriting. But there are two streams of income for any investment company globally. And that's investment income because of the cash that has to be invested before claims are paid out, as well as underwriting income, which is the risk aspect of the business, ensuring that you have sufficient enough, to be able to pay to claimants. So it's both ways. A good insurance company will have good investment income as well as good underwriting income. But sometimes things can change, and that's where the investment income becomes very useful, because you can have a year, which we call a hard year, in insurance, where claims are huge. And in that respect, you then have an underwriting loss. What will help the company at that point in time is investment income. So it's a good balance that is required. And I think we have that very well in place. Thank you.
Thank you, GMD. Maybe we can give Mr. Egrude one more chance before we move on to the next agenda. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the approval of dividends for the year ended December 31st, 2025, which will be taken as a final dividend at this meeting. A total dividend of 2 naira 75 kobo, out of which an interim dividend of 25 kobo had already been paid, and a final dividend of 2 naira 50 kobo per share for the period ended December 31st, 2025, is now hereby proposed as the final dividend. I hereby move that a dividend of 2 naira 50 kobo on every 50 kobo share is hereby declared payable out of the profits of the company for the year ended December 31st, 2025. The holders of shares whose names appear on the register of members before its closure on April 13th, 2026 will be entitled to dividend. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting? Would someone please second the motion?
I second the motion. This is Bakari.
Thank you, Mrs. Bakare. I now put the motion to the meeting. Would all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising their hands? Would anyone objecting to the motion please signify by raising his or her hand? Registrar, please can you announce the results?
So we give 5 seconds to shareholders to cast their votes. And with the permission of Madam Chair, based on the results that we have, Okay, the poll is open now. The result of the poll will be displayed on the screen shortly. Okay, so here is the result of the motion to declare a dividend. A total of 369 shareholders voted in favor of the motion, while 3 shareholders voted against the motion. So with these results, the motion to declare a dividend is duly carried. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. The next item on the agenda is the re-election of directors retiring by rotation. Pursuant to Article 106 of the Articles of Association of the company, Mrs. Mimi Adeodeachi, Mr. Olakunle Adeoju, and Mrs. Binta Max Binije shall retire from office by rotation and, being eligible under the same articles, offer themselves for re-election. I hereby move that Mrs. Mimi Adeodeachi, director retiring in accordance with the Articles of Association of the company, be and is hereby reappointed a director of the company. Would someone please second the motion? Would someone please second the motion? Okay. Mr. Kazim Olawala.
I raise my hand to second that motion. Kazim Olaiwola is my name. I'm from Kaduna State.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kazim Olaiwola. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by voting?
The poll is open now. The results of the motion to re-elect Mrs. Mimi Adeodeachi. A total of 365 shareholders voted. 358 shareholders voted in favor of the motion, while 7 shareholders voted against the motion. The motion is duly carried by virtue of the result of the votes. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. I hereby move that Mrs. Binta Max Binije, a director retiring by rotation in accordance with the Articles of Association of the company, be and is hereby reappointed a director of the company. Would someone please second the motion?
Mrs. Bisi Bakari, I second the motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Bakari. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by voting, and all those objecting to the motion also please signify by voting.
The poll is open now. We have 5 seconds. Shareholders online. The results of the motion. A total of 364 shareholders cast their votes. 353 shareholders voted in favor of the motion, while 11 shareholders voted against the motion. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the appointment of Dr. Tunde Shodade as an independent non-executive director and Mr. Folashope Ayesimoju as a non-executive director of the company. I hereby move that Dr. Tunde Shodade as an I hereby move that the appointment of Dr. Tunde Shodade as an independent non-executive director of the company be and is hereby approved. Will someone please second the motion? Do we have a seconder for the motion, please?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Did you get Thank you very much. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by voting, and anyone objecting also please signify by voting.
Can we take that motion again? So let's reload the motion. Let's give shareholders 5 seconds to cast their votes so that we can announce the result thereafter. poll is open now. So let's cast our votes. All right, so I would like to create the indulgence of the madam that prior to now we received proxies on this particular motion, and I can confirm that the votes that we received 100% voted in favor of the motion without any dissenting votes. Thank you.
Thank you, Registrar. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. Apologies, shareholders. I have to take us back to the prior agenda. I skipped out Mr. Adekunle Adeojo as a director retiring by rotation. So I want to hereby move that Mr. Olakunle Adeojo, a director retiring by rotation in accordance with the Articles of Association of the company, be and is hereby reappointed a director of the company. Will someone please second the motion? Any seconder, please? Okay, and so Mr. Lawal Oluwa has raised.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Lawal Oluwa. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will those in favor of this motion please signify by voting? And anybody objecting to the motion, please signify by voting.
Here is the result of the motion. A total of 363 shareholders voted. 357 shareholders voted in favor of the motion, representing 98%, while 6 shareholders voted against the motion. So by the results so displayed, the motion is carried. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. I'll now go back to the appointment of the new directors. I hereby move that the appointment of Mr. Folashokwe Ayeshimoju as the non-executive director of the company be and is hereby approved. Will someone please second the motion? Thank you, Mr. Adeleke Adebayo. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by voting? Will anyone objecting to the motion please signify by voting?
So the poll is up to approve the appointment of Dr. Tunde Shodade. Shareholders may please proceed to cast their votes online. We have 5 seconds to do that. All right, so we announce based on the earlier received pre-votes, and we can confirm to the House that the motion was duly carried. No dissenting votes by the earlier pre-votes results that we have in us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. We now move to item 5 on the agenda, which is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors for the 2026 financial year. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the external auditors. Will someone please second this motion?
Madam Chairman, my name is Lawal Oluwakim. I do second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Akim. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by voting? Will anyone objecting to the motion please signify by voting?
The poll is up. Shareholders online, we have 5 seconds to cast our votes. Here is the results of the motion to authorize the director to fix the remuneration of the external auditor for the year 2026 financial year. A total of 383 shareholders cast their votes. 378 shareholders representing 98.69% of the total votes voted in favor of the motion, while 5 shareholders voted against the motion. By virtue of these results, the motion is carried. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. We have now come to the election of members to the Audit Committee in compliance with Section 404, Subsection 3 and Subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. The Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 provides that the Statutory Audit Committee shall consist of 5 members, comprising 3 shareholders and 2 directors. The Act further provides that in the case of election of shareholders' representatives, nominations shall be received not later than 21 days before the date of the meeting, noting that the election to the Statutory Audit Committee can only be by show of hands and not by poll. The Board of Directors has nominated Mr. Ravi Sharma and Dr. Tunde Shudade to be appointed as members of the Statutory Audit Committee. Since the Board has made valid nominations as required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act, there is no need to vote on them. I hereby declare that Mr. Ravi Sharma and Dr. Tunde Shudade are appointed as members of the Statutory Audit Committee of the company. 3 valid nominations were received from shareholders for election as members of the Statutory Audit Committee as follows. Mr. Olane Dada, nominated by Mr. Johnson Awotiku. Chief Mrs. Margaret Giwa, nominated by Mr. Adeni Tobalashe. Group Captain Bola Shotubo, retired, nominated by Mr. Emmanuel Epo. Since there are only 3 valid nominations for the 3 vacant positions, it is not necessary to conduct any voting in respect of the candidates. I hereby move that Mr. Olane Dada, Chief Mrs. Margaret Giwa, and Group Captain Bola Shotubo, retired, be and are hereby elected as members of the Statutory Audit Committee of the company. Would someone please second the motion? Can you please unmute Desmond Itama, Mr. Desmond Itama? Thank you. Okay, maybe if we're not able to unmute, we'll just take him as a seconder.
I so do, Madam Chairman. My name is Adebayo Adetoji Adeleke.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Adeleke. Having now received the names of representatives of the shareholders and those of the directors pursuant to Section 401, subsection 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, I hereby declare that the following have been elected members of the Statutory Audit Committee for the year ending 2026. Mr. Olani Idada, Chief Mrs. Margaret Giwa, Group Captain Bola Shotubo, retired, Mr. Ravi Sharma, and Dr. Tunde Shodade. We have now come to item number 7 on the agenda, which is the disclosure of the remuneration of managers in the employment of the company in compliance with Section 238 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. I therefore, in accordance with the provision of Section 238 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, present for noting the remuneration of managers of Custodian Investment Plc as indicated in the audited accounts for the year ended December 31st, 2025. The next item on the agenda is the passing of a special resolution to fix the remuneration of non-executive directors for the 2026 financial year. At this point, I will now delegate my duty as the chairman to the Managing Director, Mr. Wole Oshi, to conduct the next item on the agenda, since I'm one of the beneficiaries of this resolution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Section 293 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, requires the remuneration of non-executive directors should be approved at the general meeting. I hereby move that the remuneration of the directors in the sum of 332,500,000 be approved. Will someone please second this motion?
I want to second the motion, Mr. Acting Chairman. And on that note, I also want to commend our directors for doing a very excellent job and for paying attention to the business 100% in attendance. And like I said on the floor of the AGM last year, you guys have made us multi-millionaires, moving our share price from 18 to 90 naira, 500%, and moving the company itself to 1 trillion naira company. So we give absolute support to the directors, and they deserve the remuneration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adeleke. I will then proceed and put the motion to the meeting. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by voting? Will anyone objecting to the motion please signify by voting also? So wait for the registrar to announce.
shareholders online, the poll is open now. Please let's proceed to cast our votes. Here is the results of the motion to fix the remuneration of non-executive directors. A total of 392 shareholders voted. 389 shareholders voted in favor of the motion, representing 99.23% of the total vote cast, while 3 shareholders voted against the motion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Following the announcement of the registrar, I hereby declare that the motion has been carried.
Thank you, GMD. Shareholders, auditors, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would like to thank you on behalf of the directors and management of the company for attending this meeting and showing interest in the company's affairs. We are also grateful to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Nigerian Exchange Limited, and our registrars for sending their representatives to this meeting. I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you. That's right. The national anthem, please.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our song.